we're talking today about how to do some time saving when you want to connect with more people that you can serve with your coaching. And today I'm going to be showing you how I do this, and we're going to be having a little green tea. So, if you're just meeting me for the first time, my name is Amanda Kaufman, and I am the founder of the Coaches Plaza. And I've been doing content from a laptop for 7 years. And when I first started doing it, I was so terrified of doing it live. I was so terrified of doing video. I was so terrified of doing emails. I was so terrified of the judgment that I was going to receive from everyone on what I was doing. And I wanted to do today's session because I was hoping maybe tackling it from another angle might help you do more content that is going to be really helpful to other people. I've had a lot of people reply to my blogs, reply to my posts, reply to my live streams. If you're catching this, say hello. Let me know you saw this. Your ideas are good. I'm just going to start there. Your ideas are good. Your ideas deserve to be seen. Your ideas, it's kind of like really anything. The more you sharpen your ideas, um, the more they're going to penetrate, the more they're going to really get out there. And what I found after doing this for literally 7 years is that the more I do it, the better it gets. And not everybody's going to stick around and watch you live. Everybody has a very busy life and they've got a lot to do. And they may kind of look at what you're doing and kind of go, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to come back later. So much of your content is going to be watched later. I've had people watch blogs that I did, 5 years ago and comment on it very recently. So, don't do content because you're looking to get a client off of this one blog that you're doing right now. That's exactly the wrong reason to do it. The exact right reason to do it is because you're finding your voice and you're also carrying on conversations that you've been having day after day, week after week, etc., and so forth. So, let's get into it. I'm going to be sharing with you today um, basically 6 big ideas that are going to help you get in front of your ideal perfect client more often, having the exact right conversations. And let's just have some coffee. Let's talk about it. So let's see. First thing is you got to commit to a rhythm. So this is just like, working out at the gym. This is just like having dinner every day, honestly. Brushing your teeth, flossing, having high quality personal relationships, right? You have some kind of a rhythm with these. And it's the same thing with producing content in your business and sending emails to your list or being present on social media. Just commit to a regular rhythm. So, early on, it was so tempting to commit to a really slow rhythm. Like, a lot of people, when they first start working with us at the Coaches Plaza, they're like, oh, I'm going to do a monthly post. I'm going to do weekly emails. And it's like, okay, well, just be okay with, if you're going to be really slow for people around you, be okay with them having a really slow response to you. If you increase the pace, if you increase the intensity with which you are showing up for the relationship, then you can expect increase in intensity and time. And a lot of people are like, well, Amanda, like, I don't want to be annoying. And number one, there are people who think you're annoying right now. So, the idea that you're going to avoid being annoying is, in my opinion, absolutely a false start to begin with. You're already annoying, so just accept that. But you're annoying for reasons you don't even think of. And so why control? Why try to control why somebody would think you're annoying or not annoying? Like, people probably find it so annoying that I'm doing this right now in a coffee shop. And okay, I could equally be sitting across the table from an actual person having this conversation as opposed to speaking into a lens right now, but I'm not. I'm using a similar tone of voice, but I'm not. I'm talking into a computer. And it's like, okay. Similarly, somebody who's watching this could be kind of annoyed that, I did this in a place that has some background noise. And it's like, okay, but look, anything you do, your very existence on this earth is probably annoying to someone. So, like, don't not do it because of an annoyance. And I got to tell you something, 9 times out of 10, when we dig into this, it actually has more to do with somebody's own organization system or the lack of organization in their own inbox than it does the actual market realities of the rhythm of email marketing or social content rhythms. So what do I mean by that? Well, usually when somebody's wanting to be slower about emailing their list or slower about sending out email content, it's usually because they themselves feel overwhelmed by their own inbox, which points to they're opting into a lot of stuff. They're not staying on top of inbox zero. They're not organized personally. And it's like, well, that's a you problem. That's not a market reality of what everybody else's experience is. That's a you experience. So, be very careful about setting up your business rhythms around your personal sense of disorganization instead of what is actually recommended practice for your actual business. So that's number one. Number two is a lot of people, when they're building their business, they're worried that they don't have the message nailed down just perfectly yet. And there is no such thing as perfect, if that was the case, then universities would have shut down years ago because they would have found the perfect answer to all things, and there would be no need to continue to refine any hypothesis. There would be no need to continue to study the nature of the world. There would be no need to write books. There would be no need to produce anything. There would be no need for discourse. And therefore, there would be absolutely no need to continue the conversation. That's so, like, no. Okay, so my wisdom here is just tell it like it is, like you understand it right now, and hold space for a new understanding. I do have a new understanding of marketing and business and how to do things as compared to where I was 7 years ago, for sure. I'm like way better than I was 7 years ago. Give yourself permission to get better. Give yourself permission to get smarter. Give yourself permission to grow, and let it go from there. Third big idea, again, it's like allowing that evolution. Allow yourself to evolve, like who your ideal avatar is. Allow yourself to discover what the best niches and markets are for you. Allow yourself to grow as a human being. I am so much better as a business owner than I used to be, like I said, but I'm also better as a human. Like I've survived so much more struggle and so much more pain, and I've come out the other side, and I've learned to access so much more joy. And one of the coolest things about creating content is you can share that with your audience, and that gives them permission to access their own evolution as well. And that was something I really didn't anticipate when I started creating content on a regular basis, and probably one of the coolest things about this journey that I've even been on. So allow for that. Let's talk brass tacks on like how you actually go about doing this. So, headline first. When I first sit down to like create content, I actually think first about like what is the issue or challenge, or aspiration that I want to help people to achieve, become, create, or do. Like, what is a thing that I can actually help you with today? And so I usually start with like the headline first. So I let's see if I can show this to you real quick. So I actually built the YouTube thumbnail thingy for this episode before sitting down and doing this live stream, and I think this really helped me like anchor like what are the points I'm going to cover, how am I going to really actually help, and how can I make it attractive, right? So at first I was like, time travel with coaching content. And that was kind of clever, but it wasn't really clear. And so I reworked the headline to be like, okay, it's about getting time back with attractive content. And that was the next version of the headline. And then I reworked it again to be getting time back with attractive content without uh, dressing up unless you really wanna. And like that's another kind of aspect of when you're thinking about the headline, it's about really grabbing your viewer or your reader, or it's 80% of the work is actually the headline. And I would recommend that when you're sitting down, really just think about like what's the main thing you really want to convey. And when you're doing your actual content, you might find that you change the headline after you've actually produced the content as well. I may or may not do that. We'll find out. Okay. Once you do the headline, the way that I found works the super best for me is to actually record a video next. So you can do video pre-recorded in advance if you want to. I used to do that. I used to do like a video and I would run it through an editor and I would cut it and splice it and all of that kind of thing. What I'm actually going to do with this video is I'm going to download it after I'm done, and I'm going to do some editing and cutting and splicing after I'm finished with it, take out the ums and the ahs, and I'm going to possibly shorten it, etc. But what I found is that as I've gotten, this was really shortly after I started producing content, is I started just going live across my different platforms right away. And that ended up being a massive time savings for me because I don't always have a lot of time to do the editing. And I wasn't in a position in the early days of my business that I felt I had the resources to hire a videographer or a video editor. And because of my commitment to the rhythm, I was like, you know what, we're going to go live. We're going to let that be good enough. And that's actually point number 6. Leverage into what you can do with the time you have, with the energy you have. So what I didn't tell you at the very beginning of all of this is that I have a deadline I'm working against for getting my content done for this week. And so I wanted to have a video that I'm going to embed on my website, etc. And I'm going to have my team help me with finishing the details on the blog and on the website, etc. But like I want to be at home with my family in like 35 minutes. So when I say leverage into what you can, you really do have a finite amount of time you can spend on content and a finite amount of budget you can spend on content. And, a lot of times we see like really big influencers and gurus who have been building their business for, multiple decades, or have honestly made smarter business moves than we have so far, who have more leverage. Like Alex Ramosi, for example, his budget for his media company is like $20,000 a month for his organic. If you're not in a position to spend $20,000 a month on your media team, then don't run the exact playbook just yet on an Alex Ramosi like content strategy. Similarly, like if you're looking at what Brendan Burchard is doing, recognize the dude's been in business for 17 years and he's got a certain amount there. But that being said, what you can do is you can take like what they're doing in principle and kind of accordion down what they've done into what you can do. So, for example, if Alex Ramosi is posting 20 pieces of content per day, and you multiply that out by 7, that's what, almost 300 pieces of content per week. Maybe that is a bit out of sight for you. But you've got to remember, you've got access to things like AI. You've got access to, all kinds of things that can make this a whole lot easier for you. Maybe you start with the commitment of like, okay, I'm going to do 7, baby. I'm going to do 1 piece of content a day. And then you find out how easy that is. And then you do 2 a day, and then 3 a day, and 4 a day, and 5 a day, and see what you can actually do, challenging yourself to do that thing and go all the way, baby. So that's what I've got for you. And what I will say is that what you should definitely not do is you should not wait to create content. Start with email. Start with your favorite platform. Just start and get your voice out there. Start speaking one to many. The sooner you start, the better you get. And if you have any questions, be sure to stop by the Coaches Plaza and join our community. We're always talking about marketing. We don't want you to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We want you to absolutely like get out there. People, when they're choosing coaches based on mainly, the connection, the rapport, the trust, and that can be you in a baseball cap at your favorite coffee shop nearby. And so I hope this was really, really helpful. Come join us in the Coaches Plaza. If you love this, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Send 3 of your friends to wherever you happen to watch this. And I will see you again next week.